You ever had someone try to break into your house at 8 in the morning? While you're in the middle of a live, recorded state interview. Yeah, that happened. And not just anyone, it was the HOA president. This woman, Karen Whitmore, thought she had the power of the FBI just because she ran a neighborhood HOA. And she picked the absolute worst moment and the absolute worst person to mess with. Now, let me back up a sec. My name's Mason Reed. I'm 34, a freelance software engineer, and I live in a cabin my grandfather built himself, sitting on land that's been in our family for over 60 years. It's peaceful, it's quiet, and most importantly, it's not part of the Pinewood Estates HOA. But Karen never let things like facts get in her way. She'd already forced 3 families to sell their homes using made-up violations and straight-up intimidation, one because their bird feeder was too loud, another for a bright mailbox. I wish I was kidding. And that morning, I was on a make-or-break video call with a woman named Patricia, a state-level legal consultant, formerly with the Attorney General's office. Serious stuff. This meeting could land me a major state contract. I'd been preparing for months. Had my camera on, documents ready, coffee steaming next to me. And then bam, the pounding on the door started like she was leading a raid. I ignored it at first. But then I saw her through the window storming around my cabin, phone out, snapping pictures like she was building a crime scene case. I tried to focus, told Patricia, sorry, minor HOA drama outside, but then I saw something that made my blood go cold. Karen pulled out a ring of keys. And one of them looked exactly like my cabin key. Custom filed, old brass, slightly bent. The kind you don't copy without planning it. She'd been casing me. I knew it. And then I heard her opening my bathroom window. That old latch never did close right. Grandpa always said he'd fix it, and there she was, halfway through it in her stiff blazer and heels like some deranged corporate cat burglar. I tilted my laptop so Patricia could see what was happening. Are you seeing this? I whispered. And then, click. Heels on my wooden floors. She walked straight into my home office, saw my gear, and said, and I quote, "Gotcha. You're running an illegal business in a residential zone. I'm shutting this down." That's when I smiled. "Good morning, Karen," I said. "You're trespassing, and this meeting. It's being recorded by the state." She laughed. Thought I was bluffing. "Oh please. Like I haven't seen that scam before," she said, waving her hand at my laptop like it was a prop. That's when Patricia's voice cut through the room, calm and crisp. "This is Attorney General Patricia Hayes. Can you please explain your presence on private property without a warrant?" Dead silence. Karen's face went white for about 2 seconds, then she doubled down, "Of course. Fake call," she muttered, but the fire was fading. "Deepfakes, AI, I've seen it all." She reached for my laptop like she was about to shut it off, but that's when I showed her the cameras my security app had captured everything, her circling, testing doors, climbing through the window. I turned the screen so Patricia could see it too. "Please upload that immediately," Patricia said. "This is now a legal matter." And that was just the start. Karen, in full panic logic mode, started pulling out what she thought was evidence, a decibel reader she'd used to track my noise levels, some camera footage from outside my house she'd apparently been collecting for weeks, and then I swear a printed HOA memo authorizing her to conduct special inspections. She was documenting her own crimes in real time, and she had no idea. That's when we heard sirens. Karen lit up. "There they are," she beamed, thinking backup was here to save her. But it wasn't her backup, it was mine. Deputy Marcus Chen, best friend since high school, stepped through the door, cool as ever. Karen launched into her speech. "I caught this man in the act of illegal activity," waving her hands like she was in a courtroom. Marcus listened, nodded. Then asked, And who called the police, ma'am? Her smile faded. Marcus turned to me. Mason, your neighbor Mrs. Rodriguez saw someone climbing through your window. That about right. I nodded. Karen went pale again. And then, just as things were unraveling, my phone rang. It was Grandpa's lawyer, Mr. Harrison. I put him on speaker. His voice was calm but urgent. Mason, we've uncovered new property surveys from your grandfather's safety deposit box. Turns out, your land extends 200 yards further than previously recorded, including about 40% of Pinewood estates. Karen didn't move. Mr. Harrison continued, and there's more emails showing that Karen was informed about the boundary issue 2 years ago by the county. She ignored it. Deliberately. Patricia sat up straighter. So she's been managing HOA property on land she never legally controlled. Exactly, Harrison said. Karen's face collapsed. That confident scowl crumbled into sheer panic. She tried to protest, said she'd invested her family savings into the HOA, that she did it all to protect community values, but none of that mattered now. Because Patricia had been waiting. This entire call, she said, has been monitored as part of a broader HOA abuse investigation. Miss Whitmore, you've confirmed everything we needed. Then Karen, desperate, pulled out a USB stick and said, this will change everything. I've got emails, calls, everything on Mason. You see. Patricia didn't even blink. Thank you, Miss Whitmore. That device will be added to evidence. It may be the single most complete record of your criminal activity. Karen froze. That was the moment she knew it was over. Marcus read her rights. Patricia confirmed federal charges were pending: wiretapping, trespassing, fraud, surveillance without consent. And as she was being led out, Karen looked at me one last time and hissed, "You think this ends with me? There are bigger people involved. And you know what? Maybe she was right." Because that's when Patricia said, with that same calm edge, "Thank you, Miss Whitmore. We'll be expanding this investigation. Your cooperation will be invaluable." So now I sit here, in the same cabin my grandfather built, looking out over land that turns out to be way more than just my backyard. It's a symbol now. A reminder that sometimes standing up, even when it's messy or scary or inconvenient, can stop people like Karen from stomping all over others just because they think they can. Karen got 8 years. Her co-conspirators. More are still being charged. The HOA dissolved. The neighbors she harassed are coming back, one by one. We even turned this cabin into a legal aid center for people fighting HOA abuse. Yeah, seriously. Funny how the place she tried to bulldoze became the very thing that bulldozed her empire. Now I gotta ask, what do you think? Was Karen just desperate? Or power-hungry from day one? Do HOAs help communities, or just give people like her too much power with too little oversight? Drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. And if you've ever tangled with an HOA nightmare, tell us your story. One voice can make change. But 100. That's a movement.